Hello, good morning. It is Morning Coffee with Steve, episode 228 for Wednesday, November 27, 2024. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have my iced coffee in my Last of Us mug today. I also added in the chocolate milk that I talked about yesterday to kind of see how that works. And honestly, it kind of just hits the spot. It's that little bit of mocha. Like, I don't put a lot in. If you're watching the video, you can see that I don't, like, it doesn't look like I put a lot of, like, milk in. You know, technically chocolate milk is actually chocolate colored. Anyway, I don't put a lot of it in, but what, like, it just gives that little hint of it that just makes it really, really tasty. And it takes that edge off of the bitterness of just regular black coffee. That's the only thing that about coffee that I'm not a fan of, is just when it's just straight black coffee. It's a little too bitter for me. Whereas that's why I put milk in, to kind of take a little bit of that bitterness edge off, so the taste can still remain. Now that taste is something that I've gotten used to over the years of drinking coffee of my life. It's not something that is easy to. It's not an easy thing to get to acquire a taste for. That's the word. That's the phrase I was looking for. But it is. Like, I do enjoy I do enjoy the aroma. I enjoy the freshness of coffee. It's especially on a morning like this morning where it's a little chilly in the air. There's no snow yet, but it's kind of like in that fall/winter sort of state. I'm in a cozy hoodie, and but even though it's like, I know it seems as if that I would appreciate more of a hot coffee than I would an iced coffee. It just, I don't know. It's the taste and smell of it just like reminds me of like a good like winter morning, and I love that. The only thing that would make this perfect would be that if it's snowing outside, and unfortunately it is not. It's nice and sunny, but it's not. It is not sunny, unfortunately. Which is fine. Which is fine. I'd rather be, here's the thing. I'd rather there be no snow right now than a big giant winter storm. I'll say that. There we go. All right. So today, I wanted to be able to talk about, bring back another segment of what Steve is playing before we get into the news. And actually, it ties into the news today. But I picked up Balatro again. I tried playing it. I bought it on the Switch. Because I did not want to download it on my phone, because I would get addicted. And also, I kind of want to wait till I get potentially like a new phone in order for me to be able to like download like games and stuff like that. Because the one thing I would love to be able to play on this is basically getting the newer iPhones with the backbone attachment. That'll fit, and then also I could be able to play games like Assassin's Creed Mirage on here, or maybe some Resident Evil, or also like any of the other games that are coming out to mobile, including Balatro. I'm not there yet. I still have to build, like, I'm still rocking the 14 Pro Max, and I am gonna get a iPhone 16 Pro Max at some point. I just gotta wait for some paychecks to clear. Anyway, but I purchased it on the Switch because it's the only device that I have that is not really linked to any other devices. For instance, basically, I could purchase the game on Steam, and I can play it on my computer here, but I would then the draw is to potentially, if I have it on Steam, I can install it on my Steam Deck or my ROG Ally. I can play it at any given point, or I could, if I buy it off of my Xbox or PS5, essentially I could be able to. I would be able to play it on my Portal, or just, again, it's trying to be able to. I'm trying to eliminate I was trying to eliminate a lot of the extra potential places I could be able to play this thing, and to kind of draw me in, because I could get addicted to a game real quick, especially if you have a good loot. So I thought, okay, purchase on the Switch. When that came out, I was like, perfect. Okay, done. I'll do that, because it's not linked to anything else other than I can only play it on my Switch. Y'all, I started playing it at first when I first got it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of get it, but it's like I can never get past like a couple rounds before I lose, and I just couldn't really figure out what to do. I knew that, you know, it was better to be able to try to be able to get certain jokers, and I couldn't really figure out the planet cards or the foil cards or anything like that. I couldn't really figure that stuff out. I was like, I didn't understand what the heck that was. I was like, well, plus what multiplayer to this? Plus also the text size isn't super great either. It's just as a heads up. Some of it is, but there's a lot of really, really small text in this. So I thought, okay, so I put it down, and like when I first got it, like this is like months ago, and I decided, okay, you know what, I'm like, okay, it's not for me. I might get back to it at some point and try to be able to figure it out, but for right now, I'm okay without it. I picked it up again last night, and I have yet to be able to complete do a finished run yet. I have not finished a full run, but I got pretty dang far. I don't know if this was like how far the runs go when you're going through like a whole a whole thing, but I got to as far as like a 10,000 chip blind, or like it was a boss, and I was so confident that I was going to be okay in this, in that round. Not I was confident to being cocky. So basically, if you don't know, Balatro is a card game. It's you have to try to be able to create poker hands, and the better your hand is, the more points you get, depending on obviously also what cards you use. So if like each card, it represents a point, kind of similar to blackjack, whereas ace equals 11 points, all the face cards equal 10 points. And then all the other cards basically have their number value as their points. And then there's jokers that can act as multipliers. So you can basically like increase your bet, your hand. So that way you can be able to get more chips, and you're trying to be able to reach a certain chip level in order to be able to move forward. So like the first one is like a small blind. You have to be able to hit like, it was like 300 chips. And if you can get that within like 5 hands, then you move forward to the next round, and the number keeps increasing from there as you go. I got up to about 10,000 chips, and my I had so many good jokers. I had a joker that basically that would have given me like anytime I used any aces, it would give me a multiplier. I had a card or a joker that would, because all the jokers have different sort of abilities depending on which one you have. Like you have up to 5 jokers you can use in a hand. And one of the jokers I had also as well would give me a multiplier based on the lowest card I have in my actual like hand, not in the hand I played, but in my own hand. And the higher the card, the higher the multiplier is. So I had that card going. I had one for aces. I also had two. I had a joker for that would give me a multiplier for straights. For any hands that it was a straight. I also had a planet card or a foil card. I don't know what this card is. Still don't really understand those aspects of it. But there was one, like basically if you get a straight, you get basically another multiplier. So I was doing really good. I was pretty confident. I got the right cards that I needed. And then it was that last round where, because I even had a card, I even bought a card that would eliminate the boss's own like it would eliminate the boss's sort of like kind of debuff, because there are certain, like when you get to a boss, there are certain debuffs that it has. Like there's one that's like if you've already played these cards, they basically don't count for any points. But this one debuff that I had that I knew was coming up, I looked at I looked ahead because I saw what was going to be coming up. It was going to be you only get one discard. No, sorry, yeah. You get 0 discards throughout the entire round. And I was like, oh, I had a joker that I bought that I could take, that it would take away if I sell it, it would take away that debuff. So I used it. It was great. I was like, okay, I got all my discards back, and then I just came up with just bad cards. Like there was nothing that could be able to help. And I kept discarding ones I thought I didn't need. And then it always comes up where there's always that one card that comes in that would have been like, oh, this would have made that hand even better if I just kept that one card. It was just, it was like, I got so defeated, but I also was like, I almost wanted to go for one more round. I really did want to go for one more round, and I think I got it. I'm still not trying to understand the foil cards and all the other different sort of type of cards you're going to get. I don't really get those just yet. or even the special like regular cards, like the ones with like there's like a wax seal on one of them, or the ones that are silver. I don't understand those. I really like. I'm trying to figure that out, but I just can't. So anyway, I'm learning as I go. But I definitely understand. I caught that little bit of just one more round, just one more round. Like I was starting to get it. I think probably because of just what I've been doing. Like it was the mentality of Magic the Gathering plus with Pokemon that I was starting to understand. Okay, this is a deck building game. Masquerade, like deck building roguelike game, also masquerading as a poker game. Like I was starting to get it. I was figuring stuff out. I figured out that these cards can be able to give you this special ability if you play it at just this right time. Like it started to get its claws in me, and it's like I'm afraid I might jump in. If I jump in again today and I keep playing, I'm gonna be toast. But anyway, I definitely like. If you were wondering why Balatro, a card game, is nominated for so many game awards this year, that's why. You now, like, hopefully by me explaining it, I hope you understand. That's why. I totally get it now. So anyway, that is what I've been playing. I've been playing Balatro, and that's that. All right, let us jump into today's news, which again is related to Balatro. Balatro has reportedly made over $4 million on mobile since release. This is by Jordan Midler at VGC. As reported by Pocket Gamer, information provided by AppMagic claims that the game saw a sharp increase in revenue on November 18th, the day the game received 5 nominations for the Game Awards, including Game of the Year. Balatro has been nominated for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Independent Game, Best Debut Indie Game, and Best Mobile Game. Since release, Balatro has received several collaborations, including special decks themed after The Witcher, Vampire Survivors, Cyberpunk, and more. That's another thing too that I actually also got to like. You could go into your collections, and it's already there. It's if you've downloaded the update for the game, it's already there. So basically, you can have the face cards that are themed after any of these games, and I like it. So I have I have basically some. I can't remember which suit I have on these, because you can be able to select different. You can select different games or like art styles depending on which suit you want to use. So I can't remember which suits I have these assigned to, but I have Cyberpunk, I have Witcher, I have Among Us, and I have Vampire Survivor as my main 4. So it's really cool. It's fun. And that's just for free. Like that's just part of the game now. It's not even you don't have to buy it or anything. Celebrating 2 million copies sold earlier this year, developer LocalThunk revealed that the game's first major update will be coming in 2025. This update will bring new ideas and strategies to the game, and as a token of huge appreciation to the game's brilliant and passionate community, the update will be completely free, they wrote. VGC's Balatro review called it gaming's best time thief since Vampire Survivors. Balatro is an astonishingly addictive take on poker that's utterly impossible to put down, we wrote. Occasional difficulty spikes aside, it's a piece of simplistic genius that will keep on our Steam Deck forever. Love it. So congrats on Balatro for already basically like, hey, who says that getting nominated for a game award is like doesn't make you money? The fact that they were able to make $4 million the day those the nominations came out, that's pretty huge. It's $4 million for a single day's worth of sales. Woo! That's amazing. Congrats to what's their name? LocalThunk. I actually didn't even realize that LocalThunk is apparently their identity has not been shared of like who is LocalThunk. If this game wins any of the game awards, I'd be very curious to see who actually goes up to be able to accept the award. So we'll see come the Game Awards. We'll be watching, which is about 2 weeks time. So weird. It's 2 weeks already. Whew. All right. Next up, we have some bit of sad news, but also some good news in retrospect. This is by Andy Robinson at VGC. It's time to move on. PlayStation veteran Shuhei Yoshida is leaving after 31 years. Sharing the news on the PlayStation blog, Yoshida said that with the brand celebrating its 30th anniversary, he feels it's the right time to move on. I'm leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment on January 15th, 2025. It's like announcing the launch date of a new game, something I haven't done for a long time, he said. I've been with PlayStation from the beginning, and this is my 31st year with PlayStation. And when I hit 30 years, I was thinking, it may be about time for me to move on. The company's been doing great. I love PS5. I love the games that are coming out on this platform, and we have new generations of management who I respect and admire. And I'm so excited for the future of PlayStation. So PlayStation is in really good hands. I thought, okay, this is my time. If you don't know who Yoshida is, Yoshida joined the PlayStation project in 1993, a year before the release of the original console. He went on to become the president of Sony Computer Entertainment, now known as Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, SIE. Yoshida currently serves as head of SIE's independent developer initiative, where his role has been to look after and nurture external, smaller, independent studios. Asked what his favorite memory from his time at PlayStation was, Yoshida said, the game company's journey was a highlight. One time stood out for me in my memory as something really, really special was when Journey got the Game of the Year award, he explained. Journey was distributed through PlayStation Network. It was a digital-only, small game. You could finish the game within like 3 hours. But that game won Game of the Year against all these AAA titles. I think for the first time in the industry, the creator Genova Chen did a talk at the summit, and he talked about a letter he received from a girl who lost her father, and she thought about her father, and she was able to move on in her life. The whole audience stood up, and the whole room was filled with happiness and an amazing feeling that this small game could have such a big impact on people's lives. I'm actually going to pull up the PlayStation blog because there is a lot more to this. Let's see, because there's a really great interview on the PlayStation blog that I'll link to this also in the show notes, as well as the article. But he was Shu was talking to Sid Sherman at the PlayStation blog, and apparently there was a podcast as well, a podcast episode as well for this, so you can be able to go check that out on Apple, Spotify, or there's a direct download right from the PlayStation blog. What was the thing that he said? Yeah. Okay. So the Sid asked well, let's reflect on your career. I know you've been here for a long time, but how long exactly have you been with PlayStation? Yeah, I joined Ken Kananagi's team in February 1993 when they were still developing the original PlayStation. Ken's team had only engineers. Everyone was engineers, and I was the first non-technical person to join the team as the company, Sony Corporation at the time, started to plan to bring PlayStation to market. So it's 31 years ago. Ken Kutaragi is often called the father of PlayStation. What was it like working at the company back in those days before the original PlayStation came out? So when I joined PlayStation, it was just a department. Ken's team was doing the development, and there was another team under Sony Music Entertainment Japan making games for Super Nintendo, and that was another small team preparing to make games for PlayStation. So the two teams merged. Ken's team under Sony and Sato-san's team under Sony Music Entertainment Japan to create Sony Computer Entertainment in November 1993. When the company was established as a joint venture, we had a party and everyone was in one room at the hotel labs. I remember we had about 80 people total. We were very small. Very small. That must have been very exciting, says Sid. She replies, oh yeah, we were so excited about the innovation that Ken's team was bringing in, like 3D graphics, real-time technology, and CD-ROM with lots of data that we can put in with a low cost of manufacturing. And so we had really high hopes, high ambitions. However, we were not known in the video game industry, and they were all other electronics companies, big companies that tried to enter the video game industry and, didn't do well. So at the beginning, before the launch of PlayStation, I think we were not taken very seriously from the industry, to be honest. It's funny how these things work, says Sid. And here we are, it's 31 years later, and it's a very different story. Tell me a little bit about your first job with PlayStation. Chu says, when I joined Ken's team, my assignment was to talk to publishers and developers in Japan. So as a lead in account management, I made a phone call to many companies in Japan, publishers and developers from Hokkaido to Kyushu, and made an appointment and brought a group of people of executives, including Ken Kutaragi himself, to visit the publisher and talk about PlayStation, hoping that they would make games on PlayStation. So that was a really fun time, but also a really challenging time because not many people in the industry believed in 3D graphics technology at that time. There was something also, Sid says, eventually moved up to being PlayStation to PlayStation Studios. Is there a memory that particularly stands out for you in your time at PlayStation Studios? Throughout the time that I was involved in game development, there was so many great games and great teams I was fortunate to work with. And every year going to events like DICE Summit was so much fun because some of our games got nominated for the Game of the Year many times. When you're in the industry, if you get involved in one Game of the Year game, you are so fortunate. But I got nominated almost every year. However, among all of these times, one stood out. One for me in my memory is something really special. Was okay. This is what Journey got nominated. Yeah, and you know what? I'll just leave the rest of the article there. I will say sadly I have never met Shu. I know a lot of my peers and colleagues in the industry have, and I've heard many. I've heard and also seen on social media since this broke yesterday many great stories and many great things about Shu. That he seems to be a very cool person. I would hope to be able to meet someday. But you know what? I think like for what he's done for PlayStation and the fact that he was there from the beginning, and as the PlayStation is celebrating its 30th year and he's been there for 31 years. Yeah, I think this was like a good, like if you were to retire from working at a company like that, going out on top on its 30th anniversary, and while the PlayStation is like arguably like basically the best selling console right now, minus the Switch, but it's also like doing extremely well with like product, like PlayStation is doing well, and he said it right. Like there's a new generation of management at PlayStation, and he feels like the PlayStation's in good hands. And what a good time to be able to go out on your own terms. And I think that's great. Not everybody gets the opportunity to be able to go out on their own terms, and I think she was more than deserved his, like, hopefully I hope it's his retirement, but also I hope that it means that he could still be able to do some work in the industry. We shall see. He has yet to be able to say anything about what he wants to do next, but he definitely deserves he definitely deserves a massive thanks, and also deserves a break. So congrats, Shu, on your retirement. I hope you have I hope you basically get your watch has ended, sir. Congratulations. And then last story, unfortunately, a little bit some sad news. This is again from Jordan Miller at VGC. Mortal Kombat 1's future DLC plans in doubt after poor reception to Chaos Reigns, it's claimed. According to Reddit user Fate Unknown, a user with a track record revealing information about forthcoming Mortal Kombat content, a third combat pack of DLC characters and a second story expansion were planned for the fighter but have since been canceled. This is reportedly due to what they claim were low sales of Chaos Reigns, the game's recent story expansion. Chaos Reigns was released earlier this year for $49.99. The package includes new story content and the second combat pack featuring new characters. The DLC was received poorly by fans, however. Based on 68 Steam reviews, the package has a mostly negative rating, with fans complaining about the lack of content offered in the expansion. This week saw the release of Ghostface, the 10th DLC character in Mortal Kombat 1, and the 4th to be added as part of Mortal Kombat or Combat Pack 2. The first combat pack added Omni-Man from Image Comics, Quan Chi, Peacemaker from the Suicide Squad, Ermac, Hornblander from The Boys, and Takeda Takashi as playable kit fighters. I'm butchering those names. I'm so sorry. So far, Combat Pack 2 has added Mortal Kombat veterans Cyrax, Sector, and Noob Saibot, with Ghostface being the pack's first guest character. Following Ghostface will be the T-1000 from Terminator 2 and Conan the Barbarian. Neither character's release date has been confirmed. And that's sad. I do enjoy Mortal Kombat 1. I think obviously it did an amazing job for accessibility. If you have not played that yet, they've done amazing work for blind accessibility in that game, finally making a fully accessible blind fighting game. Or fully accessible fighting game for blind players. That's the phrase I was trying to be able to say. And I will admit, I did kind of agree with sort of the sentiment of just like, I don't know, just the DLC of Mortal Kombat 1 with the two combat packs, nothing really interested me that much. I mean, sure, Omni-Man's cool, and I guess Homelander's cool and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just never really kind of got me. Like, I was like, or got me excited about, oh, I should jump back into Mortal Kombat again. I don't know, it just seemed like it kind of lost a little bit of steam there. And yeah, I could definitely see that it would not having very great sales for it right now, that there may not be any future plans going forward. But it could also mean that they could easily move on to other things that they can be able to do. Like, obviously WB believes in NetherRealm to be able to make whatever they want. So it could be an Injustice 3. I would love to be able to see a new Injustice game coming from them. Especially with DC being part of the plans, I guess, of WB of games, what they want to do with it with DC, or to be able to create a different project. Who knows? I think NetherRealm has kind of earned the right to basically to kind of make what they want. Sure, yeah, okay, it didn't really sell well for the DLC. Well, thanks, Block, ad block. Great, you're awesome. What was I saying? Yeah, I think I think NetherRealm can they deserve to make whatever they want. They've been successful for so long. I think Ed Boon can be able to create whatever the heck he wants. It doesn't necessarily have to be just fighting games. I'd love to be able to see them try something else. But hey, if fighting games is if that's still what they want to do, that's still what they want to do. And I'm sad to see that basically the DLC didn't really work out too well for them, but hopefully whatever their next project is will be even better. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. Now, I know that tomorrow is American Thanksgiving, so I am actually going to also take a break for Thanksgiving. There's not really much gaming news that's happening, even though I'm like Canadian. Our Thanksgiving's already happened, so to me, it's just basically just a regular Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to take I'm going to take the hint and basically take the 2 days off from Morning Coffee with Steve, and then we'll come back again on Monday. So enjoy. If you are in the U.S. and you're having Thanksgiving with friends or family or found family, whether they be blood or not, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, yeah. I hope you have, hope you at least be able to get, or if you don't get a chance to be able to hang out with friends or family, I hope you'll be able to at least get a chill weekend. Okay? So thank you so much for listening and for watching. I really do appreciate it. You're awesome. And I hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.